Today, I am with the very famous and very dynamic Jaro Tomik. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
You're not wearing a wizard's hat for once, and I don't know what all this stuff is, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to know. We've known each other and worked in various things together. You work for CDW. You provide lots of different technology and other solutions. Just give us a flavor of what people are looking for at the moment. What's the, without getting into the specific technology, but what kind of requirements are you hearing from people that's changed in the last couple of years?
Yeah, certainly. What we're seeing is a lot of AI hype that has now shifted into people already testing out AI in various functions across the business, which is partially exciting, but also quite scary because the organizations are starting to struggle to get a hold of where are all these little pockets happening, how are they performing, are they delivering any business value? And so really what we see organizations looking for is helping them to make sense out of where they should be investing their time, where they should be investing money, and they want to see returns. Now is the pressure from above, especially from the likes of finance departments and CIOs, to on the individual departments and workers to show the value. And by that, they mean business value, not necessarily we saved service desk 90% of tickets,
No.
but more
What does
about
that
we
mean?
have saved this many hours of everybody's time.
And does that mean that the people that are buying those kind of solutions, those big platform solutions and integrations, are they different, or have they had to change what they are looking for and how they define the success of that? Have they got more mature at that?
I would almost say it's even a stage earlier where they're looking to see what is the measure of success.
Yeah.
And the first conversation we normally have with them is around the usual ITIL basics, which is where are you right now? And often that is an answer they don't have particularly clearly defined. And I think that that's where we're still coming back to. And in that sense, it hasn't changed in the last 10 years, at least, that I've been in the industry. So, we're still coming back to the same thing. AI is yet another tool that can do a lot of things, and it is changing the industry, as we saw in your talk. But it comes back to the basics.
So is there a real sense of like plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose? Everything changes, everything stays the same. So there's always new stuff, but there's kind of core stuff that doesn't change.
I would say so. I would also add to that.
So I wasn't trying to be, clever by saying that in front. It's quite well known.
I would say what's different is that the pace of change is increasing.
Yeah.
And the pressure is increased on the companies, but also on the people. And I think there is generally a bit more worry, a bit more volatility in the market in terms of what is going to happen next, what skills will I need, will I get replaced by AI? And people across all the levels in the hierarchy are asking that. And they're getting a lot of different answers. So I think there's still a lot of noise and people are still not quite grasping what's going on. And that's not fault of their own. It's just the state we are in right now.
There's a lot of talk about ethics, and I was talking to one of the guys from Forrester yesterday who was saying there's a real sense that people are spending a lot more money on AI and not getting the benefit and firing people anyway. So is there an ethical onus on vendors to make sure that you don't oversell stuff?
I mean, it's a tough one because
Not putting you on the spot or anything there.
no, not at all, not at all. And I would always like, in general, the industry to be more honest with itself than it really is.
Yeah.
And we can always be upset with how marketing are positioning certain things, and then by the time it gets down to the technical execution, there might be quite a bit of a delta.
I don't even mean marketing, because marketing is always going to hype things up, but it's just more about when you get to the situation where you're looking at the requirement and you're kind of going, well, maybe you don't need that, or have you thought about this? Is there more of an onus now, or more of a need to really ensure that you don't put people at risk? Not deliberately, but
I would say it mainly links back to the pace of change. There is now less time to make those decisions. And I think that makes organizations feel like they need to make the decisions faster and potentially don't spend as much time properly considering what is the impact of that, what is the cost of potentially rehiring them next year. And I think that
happens
is
all the
really
time. Yeah.
and that is really the key challenge I see is the perceived pressure that they are under, that they need to act right now, and the decisions are being made without proper consideration.
So you've always been very much involved in things like simulations to help people to see. I mean, is that something that people are picking up on more? To give them that big picture. Actually, if you do that, then there isn't a risk there.
Absolutely. We still run these very regularly. And actually, the version that we have at CDW has been really successful in the sense of helping people realize AI is a tool. It's still, and it's the 5% of really the overall change that you need to do. It's not so much about the technology, it's much more about the people. It's much more about processes. Because what we're seeing is AI amplifying the old processes and making it yet even worse. As we've seen in the past, whether you were moving from one platform to another, if you took the same processes, put them on the new platform, it wasn't working optimally because you didn't go through that proper change management, through the proper update of the processes. And it's the same thing with AI Amplify. And that workshop really enables people to understand that it's much more about how do we position ourselves around the work we need to deliver.
Yeah.
And then AI is just one of the things that helps us speed up the way we deliver outcomes.
So AI Amplify is that's a really good one to look out for. I'm going to leave it there. Jaro, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Look forward to speak to you again and hearing more about how everything changes and everything stays the same.
Fantastic. Always.
Thank you.
Pleasure.